So, a warm welcome to Manchester, to the Grosvenor Casino here at Bury New Road for our final day of the World Championship Amateur Poker. Hopefully you just got our quick run through of the players at this final table. It's in one player, which is Aaron, so we're just unbagging his chips and getting them stacked up at the moment.
Here he comes. Dun, dun, da, da, dun, da, da, dun, da, da. Let you work it out. Thank you.
So Aaron has finally joined us. I don't know whether Aaron did it to try and miss out on the pre-interview, but he's not going to get away with it. I'm going to go and have a quick word with him. Aaron, what sort of time do you call this?
Early.
Fashionably late, yeah?
Fashionably, you could say that, yeah.
So obviously by doing that, they've stacked your chips for you, yeah? As a superstar that you are. I'll just wish you good luck and we'll get on with it.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
There we go then, right. So we'll just wait to get this kicked off. I've got my partner in crime, Stu Ward, on comms with me for the start.
Afternoon.
So let's give you a rundown here we've got here. So in seat 1 is Paul Haycock. Paul's from Kenilworth, and he's starting the day with 628,000. Seat 2, Dave Howard, all the way over from Dubai. Dubai Dave, they're calling him now these days. Dave's got 345,000. Andy McBean from Watford in seat 3 with 161,000. In seat 4, all the way from Acton in London is Mike Bennett with exactly 500,000. I like that guy. No nonsense, gives me round numbers to work with. Alan Jones, our chip leader, is in seat 5 from Cardiff with 1.6 million. Seat 6 from Hull is Dave Stones with 296,000. In seat 7, Aaron Henley from Ealing in London, 989,000, second in chips. In seat 8, local lad from Manchester, Craig Heaton with 356,000. And making up the final 9 is Kieran Fitzharris from Oswald Thistle. Yes,
got it.
In that all morning.
Got it.
333,000 in chips. We don't need to say that again where Kieran's from.
Like, as far as it usually does. At all, it's not doing anything. So everyone's a pretty deep stack to the final table. This could be in for a long one.
Yeah, plenty of play here, Stu, isn't there?
Oh, massive amounts, massive amounts.
So just getting a quick final check from our TD that we're ready to go, and we'll be starting the clock. Level is 19. We are 52 minutes and 49 seconds left of this level. The blinds are 6,000, 12,000 with a running ante of 1,000.
I'll have a check while you're talking. Just to make sure it's good.
No.
Race 25.
First hand there then, Stu.
It is. I know, yeah. The last one's the one you want to win.
And Craig scoops that first hand.
And we've got Andy in the small blind, with Mike in the big blind. Just give me some time to get used to the names of people again. It's been folded round to Aaron as we let it go. Folds round to Paul. Paul's going to make a raise to 27,000. Remember the blinds are at 6,000, 12,000 now, with a 1,000 running ante. Action on Dave on the button. So Dave's made a re-raise to 59,000. Andy and Mike quickly fold. Action's back on to Paul. Paul's going to make another raise. 127,000 to go now for Dave. Dave announces all in. So we've got our first all in of the feature table, and Paul will get out of the way. So Dave will take down a nice pot early doors. The Paul stack early doors. He started today with 628,000 chips though, so there's still plenty of chips left.
No, I was supposed to be unregistered.
Crack on then, David.
Multi-table.
Your heads up has to take priority.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
You're not that old,
Race to 25.
Dave's following on Dave. He's going to raise it to 25,000. Put on Alan. And he gets out of the way as well, so we'll see Dave take down another pot.
If my chips are playing the heads up, can I just give instructions around before I every hand?
We have Adam George to the program, Adam George to the program, Gabrielle Ciamento, and Adam George.
In the small blind, Dave Stone's in the big blind. Alan's obviously our big chip leader. After the after day 2 is complete, sorry. And Aaron to act first. Aaron gets out of the way, so does Craig. So does Kieran, so does Paul. And Dave again, who's had a good start to the day. Dave makes it 25,000 to go. Call from Mike. Alan Jones folds and Dave Stone's having a look in the big blind. 13k remaining, lets it go, so we're going to see a flop. Flop comes down, King of Hearts, Ace of Spades, 4 of Spades. Action on Dave to go. Dave reaches and chips and makes it 29,000. Re-raised to 100 by Mike. Mike looks to have about 230, 300k back. Somewhere between there. Dave makes the call. So the pot's already up and over 200,000 chips already. You see the turn, which is a 3 of Spades. Dave checks. Mike instantly moves all in.
Move early on this final table, Stu.
I think it's for about 240, 250k by the looks of it. The rough guess. Yeah, Mike says just over 200 after Dave asked for a count.
So Matt's just counting this all up. Now Mike started the day with 400k.
Yeah, he raised it to 100k on the flop. That's a Dave bet, 25.
So Dave started with 345.
He won a pretty decent pot of Paul early doors, so
there's probably not a huge amount of difference between the two stacks now, I wouldn't have thought.
no. I think Dave's got about 350, maybe even 400k back now.
But Dave's chatting away with him. So you can see both players on the top feed. Dave in the black at the far end and Mike in a blue t-shirt to the right. And you can see all of Mike's chips in the middle on the bottom feed, actually. You can see his chips there. The yellow chips are 25k, black ones are 5k, and the greens are 1,000. They're still chatting away, quite friendly between the two of them. Dave's saying, should I fold? And Mike's going, gives a sigh and goes, yeah, you should. Mike says, either way, you'll see my hand.
Nice of him.
Yeah.
It's called.
Dave's going to call.
Wow.
It's King 5 for Mike, and it's Ace Queen for Dave. Dave is ahead here. Mike is going to need to hit a 2, a King, or a 5. And no spades. Here it comes. And it's a king on the river, and it's a spade. It's the King of Spades, and that is going to be a flush for Dave. We're going to get a count on that to find exactly where we're at, but it's...
Wow.
It's that little bit of Mike seeing it, and Matt says, yeah, it's got him covered, so we're going to lose Mike in 9th place. First player eliminated from our final table. Very well played to him. So the king comes out, and then it's a spade. He sees it's a spade as well, and it's a flush for Dave, double up for Dave Howard. It's going to put him up well just over 800,000 in chips now. So Mike's going to walk away with £515. It means the remaining guys now are guaranteed 620. Interested to know whether Dave's chatting there actually meant he got any sort of read on whether to make the call or not. They did chat for a little while. It was a good couple of minutes before he eventually decided to make the call. I did just overhear him say that he felt he got the information he needed. So. Chris Webber on the rail here. You know Dave very well. Was the chatter to try and get information from his opponent, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I didn't see any of the hand, but yeah, I think you've got to be very careful engaging players in conversation, particularly if they are sort of skilled hand readers. Dave is one of those. So, yeah, I mean, realistically, you just want to be quiet when you're in a pot with them. I think as a general rule, most players should just be trying to be quiet in the pot rather than giving away too much information.
Yep. Thanks for that, Chris. Good advice.
Ever. Dubai Dave's plan to take the bracelet and run away back to Dubai is coming to fruition. Time we've got a raise from Alan on the button. Both from Dave in the small blind on Aaron to act in the big blind. It's been made what looks like 75,000 to go. Aaron folds. Paul's going to get out of the way as well after he limped. And the pot will go through Alan. All in for Andy McBean. In C3. I didn't know. Call was made by Aaron Henley in C7, so we've got Ace Jack of Andy. Let's see the flop.
And it's the ace jack at risk.
Flop comes 8 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, ace of spades. Let's see the turn. It's a 5 of diamonds, just gives Andy some more outs with
There's
the
ace of diamonds out
yeah.
there.
So let's see the river. King of hearts. So we'll see the double up. Double up for Andy. Started there with 161,000, so getting himself back in the game.
So 137 is the count for Andy McBean. So plus the big blind and the antes. We'll put Andy up now about 300k.
Yep. Straight back in the game there now.
Very much so. So Andy asked at the start of the day where all his yellow chips are gone. Well, he's got one back. Andy in the grey shirt, on your top of your feed, at the top of the screen.
It's got a confirmed
And
count
on-
from Dave Howard. Sorry.
On, we're going to go to the next hand.
Yeah. So Dave's up to about 920 now. He says. Not a bad start when he started the day on 345.
So a nice double up for Andy. Andy actually cashed in this event back in 2013.
Wendy again. He makes the fold as well. Son Allen is having a good think. Makes a raise up to 26,000. Pots on Aaron in T7. Obviously just doubled Andy up and he's going to get out of the way here. Ball from Craig. On to Kieran in the big blind. And Kieran will make the call. So we'll go to the flop, two-handed. Flop comes 9 of hearts, 6 of diamonds, 8 of hearts. It's going to be Kieran to act first. Go check on the flop. Turn the jack of spades. And he'll bet out 31,000, sorry, from Kieran. Alan makes the call, so we go to the river. And it's the Queen of Diamonds. Actions on Kieran again. He's reaching for chips again. He makes it 58,000. And a call from Alan. And Alan shows the ace queen compared to Kieran's king 7, so that'll all go to Alan.
So Kieran had flopped an up and down straight draw there with the king 7.
Yeah, he's been
Missed.
missed everything and then tried to
and then tried to turn his hand into a bluff.
bluff. Yeah, Unfortunately, Alan managed to get there on the river and.
Yeah, I mean, if
landed the
Alan,
call.
haven't hit the queen on the river, I think probably turning it into a bluff was a good move.
Yeah, just got
And he
unlucky
would have got
there.
it through. Just wasn't to be. But I can't criticise the play there from Kieran.
I played with him for a bit on day one, and he's a good player. He was really aggressive on day one. He built his stack really well.
Where's he from, Stu?
He's from Oswald Whistle,
Hey, good effort.
somewhere around there.
Really nice guy. I was chatting to him whilst he was bagging up his
Yeah.
chips at the end of yesterday. So round we go. It's
Don Aaron, I think.
he's it up.
Didn't see a sneaky little raise.
Oh no, yes. Well, actually, he hasn't raised
No.
up. He's called.
It's been raised now.
It's a raise. And round we go again. Blinds are still 6,000. Absolutely loads of play left in this.
Huge amounts.
So first to act is going to be Andy McBean. He folds, as does Alan. Round we go to Dave Stones. He gets out of the way. Aaron Henley.
Is he? He declares 75,000 and then put in 15,000.
So he finds 3 of the yellow chips
Yeah,
instead.
we'll
and
try
puts
that
those in.
once. And all in. From
Kieran
Kieran.
goes all in from the button, and the blinds get out of the way. Kieran was the shortest outfit, having lost a couple of pots today, but it's still.
Couple of 100,000 there.
Aaron starts the chat.
We saw this yesterday.
He's not actually even asked for a count yet.
Saw this yesterday when there was a few all-ins in his table when he was involved. He likes to have a good talk with people before.
He's reaching out yellows, and without, I think he
calls.
says calls. And Aaron's got king 4, and Kieran has got pocket sixes.
sixes.
It's the pocket sixes that are going to be at risk here. Aaron's made the call with king 4. We're going to see a flop. And the board comes 4, king, jack.
6 of clubs out though.
3 clubs though, and Kieran has a 6 of clubs, so here comes the turn. And the queen is going to be no good. It's going to need to be a 6 or a club on the river for Kieran.
Oh, the
And it
club.
is a club
Wow.
on the river, and Kieran is going to get a double up through Aaron. So not long after Aaron doubling up Andy McBean, he's now doubled up Kieran.
Yeah.
So the count was 203,000 for Kieran, so that's put him up now. Let me see, where was he position-wise? He's picked up the antes plus both the blinds as well, so it's going to put him up around 440,000.
Wow. It's not a bad start, is it? I mean, and Aaron's taken a few hits.
Yeah, Aaron was our second in chips coming into this final table, and so far he's doubled up 2 of the short stacks with what some people may say are fairly loose calls.
The problem is he's raised it pre and then he feels like he's priced into call.
I think, I mean, probably let's bear in mind here, blinds are 6,000, 12,000, and his raise pre was to 75k.
Yeah, it's a big old.
And probably there, I would suggest that it's his bet sizing with his initial raise has meant that he's kind of felt he's priced himself into the pot to make the call with the short stack. It was still another 125,000 to make the call. He didn't even ask for a count.
Yeah, he just went for it. He's going to have to go to a point where he's going to have to stop putting himself in the spots though. Otherwise, he's
Compared to the prize pool. But we've got a raise here from Kieran, and it's been called by Dave Howard in the small blind, and the board's going to come down Jack 10 deuce.
Got a bet from Kieran for 32,000.
Dave's reached for raisin chips, and he makes it 74,000. Kieran's initial bet on that flop was 32,000.
Yep.
And Dave's made it 74,000 to play.
Yeah, Kieran gets out of the way.
Nice from Kieran there, though. Just puts a little bet out on the flop, asks the question, gets the information that he wants from Dave, whether he believes it or not.
So we're talking about bet
Doesn't really
sizes
matter.
there, though, but Dave's like re-raise on the flop there was smaller than Aaron's raise pre-flop.
Yeah.
than
I
that
mean,
before.
again, it's Dave's then putting it back, asking the question,
Yeah.
giving himself options that if Kieran's actually on a bit of a monster and then re-raises back over the
Exactly,
top
yeah.
again, actually,
I really like the- I like the
he can
three-bet
let it
size.
go, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If you do like bluff small, you can then it gives you more room to wriggle down the streets and
Yeah,
not
often,
that he was
often
bluffing,
players
yeah.
think that 3-bet sizing needs to be
huge.
3 times
Yeah.
what's going on or
It depends
pot,
what hand
pot
you've
size, whatever it might. But actually, it doesn't need to be.
It depends on the hand you've got and the player you're playing against. I mean,
So it's going to be Andy in the small blind and Alan in the big blind, which means it'll be Dave Stones to act first this time round, and he folds, as does Aaron. Can't see that. Stu, is that Craig out the way? He is.
Yeah,
Kieran out the
Kieran out the
way,
way, yeah.
as does Paul Haycock, which means we're round to Dave Howard on the button. He folds with blind on blind.
oh, walk. First walk of the final table. That was well. So it's going to stick.
So Aaron's just stepped away from the table for a little rethink. I can see him just having a quick wander around, having a think about it. I mean, it's just double 2 players up, maybe just having a little quick chat to himself,
Yeah, there's
saying,
nothing wrong with that at all.
what am I doing? In fact, actually, I think he's wandered out of the poker room altogether for a quick walk for 2 minutes. Nothing wrong with that
No.
whatsoever. We've got Dave Howard raising this up.
Yep.
And it's just the blinds to get through. Alan's the small blind, who's the chip leader coming into this final day, and Alan has raised it up to 81,000. Dave Stones from the big blind says, I'm all in. Back round to Dave Howard. He folds. Alan is asking for a count, but
It's not a huge.
no, he's got a number of...
There's a couple of 100,000 there, yeah.
it's probably about 260, 270 maybe. 282? Oh, 267, I missed the 25. 267. 267. Alan's already raised it up to 81. He says, I make the call. So it's ace-king for Dave Stones, and it's ace-4 of hearts for Alan. It's the ace-king that's at risk here. So here comes the flop. And it's 6 ace deuce. No hearts on the board, so looking good for Dave at the moment. Here comes the turn. And it's the 7 of hearts. Still good. 3 on the river was a little bit of a, for a second, but nothing there. Dave gives a little, it was never in doubt. It was all right. Okay, so Dave's going to get a double up through Alan. Ace King versus Ace 4, and on we'll go. So that's three of the short stacks now that have had a double up early on this feature table. The final table of the World Championship of Amateur Poker main event.
Marcel Langfeld and Daniel Fogg. That's Marcel Langfeld and Daniel Fogg from table 3.
Raise 31.
Got a raise to 31,000 from Craig at the end of the table. Falls round. Andy gets out of the way, so does Alan. Dave, who makes the call with his newfound chips. Flop will come down. Queen of Hearts, Jack of Clubs, Jack of Hearts. Dave checks. Craig betting 35,000. And Dave makes the call, so we're going to see the turn. It's a 4 of hearts. And Dave checks again. Craig will check behind. And the river is a 7 of spades. So the action's on Dave now. Makes 75 and a call. Full house, flop full house for Dave. For Dave, wow. Ace is shown by Craig at the end of the table, and wow. Not a bad flop.
But I also think Craig's probably got away with only giving away the minimum there.
Yeah.
So well played by him with pocket aces in the big blind when the small blind is coming along as well. Oh, God, I forget Aaron's not there as well, so it's ace under the gun, yeah. Aaron in the big blind is currently not sat at his seat.
Craig with a big blind in his hand. Aaron obviously still away from the table, so his hand will be folded. Just returning now, a few seconds too late.
Raise to 25.
Raised 25,000 by Paul. Folds from Dave and Andy. Trying to Alan. Alan throws a call in. Dave will get away from it. Craig is having a count of his stack. He raises all in. Paul folds and so does Alan. Well, pretty quick folds there after the all in.
To Wayne Parker, who's watching the stream, cashed yesterday in the main event. Great to see you back at an APAP, Wayne. Hope you enjoy the coverage today.
So the flop's 4-3-3 with 2 clubs and a 7 of hearts on the turn. It's Kieran to back first. He checks. Alan, the original razor pre-flop. Going to bet out for 27,000. Action's round to Kieran again. He makes a call. So I'll go with the river, which is the 5 of hearts. Kieran checks. Alan checks behind him. Ace 4 shown by Alan. Kieran just mucks. And Alan takes the pot.
We have Ian McKechnie and Martin Dewionka, Martin Dewionka and Ian McKechnie to the courtroom. For the heads up.
We've got Kieran in the small blind, Paul in the big blind in this hand. Dave and Andy have got out of the way, so is Alan and other Dave. Aaron folds, he's starting to Craig on the button. Craig makes the call. Goes on Kieran in the small blind. He makes the call. On Paul in the big blind who checks. So we got 3-way at the flop. With Craig, Kieran and Paul. Flop comes the Queen of Clubs, 2 of Hearts, 10 of Clubs. And Kieran's going to bet out, leads out for 27k. Paul folds fairly quickly. Craig folds as well. And Kieran will take the pot.
Race 27.
So it'll raise under the gun from Andy to 27,000. Folds around to Craig. Who makes the call? Kieran folds and Paul folds. Done Dave in the big line now. And he'll there go as well. So we're going to 2-8 the flop with Andy and Craig. The flop comes Queen, Clubs, Queen of Spades, 3 of Diamonds. It's Andy to back first. Original razor. Check from Andy and a bet to 39,000 by Craig. Quickly called by Andy. Turn is the Ace of Hearts. He's checked. Craig's asking for a count of his stack, and he's going to bet out 60k after asking. Find out he got about 200k. So back to Andy again. So Craig will take down that pop.
Thank you. You do that. Thank you. Good luck, guys.
Few rough chip counts. I think Dave's got about 900,000 at the minute, roughly. And he's got 200k. Alan's still got plenty of chips there. About 1.5, thank you. I was just about, my head is about to explode there. Nine. 940. Dave says he's got 940. That's Dave Howard. See, Dave Stones has just doubled up, so he's probably playing around.
Raise from Aaron again to 75k, and it's an all-in from Craig. Everyone else is going to get out of the way. I think that was Aaron Sayer calls. It was. So Aaron's got ace king and dealer. So it was the ace king for Aaron. It was the pocket tens for Craig. It's going to be the tens, I think, at risk here. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
And it's 10-4-7. Gives Craig a good start. There is runner heart opportunities. As I speak, there's one of them.
And the two
And
on the
a
river.
deuce on the river means it's going to be a full double up for Craig. We're just going to get that counted up. Craig's count is 360,000. And that is going to leave Aaron now on 245,000.
So that's
He
a
started the day with just under $1 million
yeah,
chips,
989k.
and it's really not gone well for him so
Wow.
far in this first level.
To be fair to him this time, it was he has got a legitimate hand, but so we're probably all going on there anyway. But
Yeah, possibly. Again, it's a big open bet to 75k. Blinds are 6,000, 12,000.
yeah, it's still a massive bet pre-flop.
With very little thought about your opponent's chip count. It was again, maybe with ace king, it's just he says I'm calling. Yeah, I'm calling. Don't
anyway.
care. I'm calling. But really, unless he was comfortable what the count was, I don't think he necessarily was
No,
with it. But he's all in next hand and gets that through. So he went all in under the gun +1, that very next hand, and gets it through.
I don't think he's going to be sticking around with the chips he's got left.
Now, I think Aaron's here to play. It's Aaron under the gun this very next hand. And he folds.
Folds on to Paul, who's folded as well. Dave makes the fold. Got a Andy on the button. Put some chips together, makes it 27,000. We see a race to 100,000 from Alan in the small blind. Fold from Dave in the big. All in and a call. Andy's going to be at risk with pocket queens.
It's queens for Andy. It's ace
Jack.
jack for Alan. It's the queens at risk here, Stu.
Yep.
We're going to see the flop. And it's 10-3 king. Blockers in there, but there are queens out there now for Alan. An 8 on the turn. It's going to need to be an ace, jack, or a queen. Deuce on the river, and it's
And
a
he'll
double up
again.
for another double up for Andy McBean. That'll be put him on a decent stack now. Started as one of our short stacks today. We're just going to get the count on that. $188. So that'll put Andy up about 400k now.
Alan's getting unlucky. He keeps on making the. You having hands you can 3-bet with in the small blind, and he keeps on running into the big hands.
Yeah, I mean,
either way, so
I don't think as a big stack there he's done very much wrong with that.
He had a similar hand earlier when David raised in late position. He's 3-bet with the ace 4, which is a perfectly reasonable move to make.
Yeah.
It makes a hand easier to play down the street.
He's just unfortunate there actually not to have 2 overcards to the pair.
He ran into his king in the big blind didn't he, last time, so there's nothing you can do really. It's just one of them things. Just played the hand right and then being punished for it.
So Dave Stones is in the small blind this time. Aaron is in the big blind, which will be Craig to act first.
Andy. Not to Dave, sorry, then Andy. Andy folds, Alan folds. He's trying to Dave in the small blind. And he's going to fold as well under the threat of the all-in, I think. Our big blind to attack now, I suppose. And he shows ace jack. Dave's spider sense obviously went off there, I think, in the small blind. And wasn't very good, one of the two. Yeah. Gets out of the way. Andy will fold as well. Alan folds. Out with Dave on the button. He'll fold. On to Aaron in the small blind. And he's going to muck. We'll get a walk. No. Yep, yes, you will. Yeah, we'll get a walk for Craig. Second walk of the final table. Don't think I saw a walk all day yesterday, you know. He's popping up all over the place. Yes, mate. 25,000 from Dave Howard. Falls round to Aaron in seat 7. He's going to let it go, as does Craig. Big blind of Kieran, has a little look down the table. And he makes the call. Clock comes the Queen of Hearts, 2 of Spades, Ace of Clubs. It's going to be Kieran out first. That is a horrible... There you go. Thank you. Can't be dealing with crooked flops. So Kieran checks his round to Dave. Who puts together a bet of 33,000. One to Kieran. Who's going to let it go? And Dave will take down the pop. Small blind and Paul in the big blind. With Dave first to act. Blind levels are just going up to 8,000, 16,000 after this hand with a 2,000 running ante. Going to fold around to Dave in the cut-off, who makes it 26,000. Aaron, next to act. And he makes the call. Call from Kieran as well. He's trying to Paul in the big blind. This is 26,000 to go, and he's going to make the call as well. So we're going to see this flop 4-handed. Clock comes down, the 3 of clubs, 10 of clubs, 6 of hearts. Kieran checks and Paul checks. Dave checks. It's on Aaron. Aaron declares all in. So Aaron is all in again. It's on Kieran. Kieran's had a really good think, counts his chips. So Kieran's having a really good think about this one.
Yeah, so they've checked it all the way round. Aaron's taken the opportunity to go, okay, well, if no one's going to have a go at this, I'll put the ultimate pressure on. And it's a fold from the 2 blinds in the end. It's just whether Dave Stones, who was sitting there quite quietly, what he fancies doing. You can just make Dave out in the bottom stream at the moment. And he folds or calls?
Calls?
He calls with 5 deuce. He's called from the... So Dave's got the gut
down.
shot. Dave's got the gut shot and the flush draw. And Aaron has the top pair. Here comes the turn. It's a queen of spades. That's no good for Dave.
Club any 4. 10 on the river.
10 on the river. And Aaron is going to get a double up through Dave. Tricky spot for Dave there. He's got the flush draw and he's got the gut shot. Decides to make the call. Go for the spin up. Not to be. Aaron's stack was 244,000.
So that's going to push him back up towards 600,000 after all the... Oh, probably about 550,000 after all the action on the
There was a little bit in pre there, so yeah.
exposed. Instead of going to Allen. Little misstep from the dealer. Andy will raise to 27,000 under the gun. Alan folds, and it's right with Dave Stone, so he'll get out of the way. Aaron folds, Craig folds. Kieran on the button folds. Paul's going to get out of the way from the small blind, and we're on Dave in the big blind now. And he folds as well. So Andy scoops in the pot. I think if he thinks that he's at it and just shoving with any two, he might have live cards for his pairs and his flush draws straight draw live.
Yeah, bear in mind what Aaron's shown so far at this table.
It's hard to put him on ace 10 though. Because
interestingly, with that very last hand there, Andy's raised that up under the gun. I think the table showed him quite a lot of respect so far. He's had a couple of double ups as a short step, but pretty much that's the only hands he's played so far.
He's not shown down any rubbish. There's no point trying to.
No. So his raise from under the gun got maximum respect from the rest of the table. So I know some of you guys are watching this on YouTube. So quick hello to Gareth Lee Smith. Can see you're watching. Maria Dyke and anybody else watching on YouTube. Guys, if you want to get onto the Facebook group and comment on there, then go for it. We'd love to hear from you.
You want to make any comments in the Facebook comments boxes? Say like you play your mates or anything like that, just let us know, and we'll be more than happy to oblige.
Follow all the blogging live updates on the forum. Lucy is working the socks off, has done all week, catching every hand on here in detail. So if you go on to apart.com/forum, go and look for the live update section. You'll see a live update every day from the World Championship for Amateur Poker that we've been here in Manchester. Today is our final day. Sad, Stu.
Yes, it does feel like we've been here for about a month now.
I've got very little voice left.
Yeah, this morning everyone was struggling, weren't they?
Lucy very kindly did me a throat lozenge run this morning, so we've got a number of different varieties here by the desk.
They're vanishing quite quickly.
Yeah, very much so.
Andy gets another one through.
We had a bit of a late one last night because we watched the final of the Cash Championship play out, which probably had one of the biggest rails of the week.
Oh, fantastic.
Right in the middle of the room, with the decisions going right down to the last hand of who was going to do what. Were they going to go for the bracelet? Were they going to bank the cash they had in front of them? It's a great concept, great tournament. If you've not played it, we run it a couple of times a year. It's well worth coming along and playing it. Warren Jones picked that bracelet up in the end.
No, it's a shock. Our fellow commentator for this week, JP, was close.
Was in there at the end. Yeah, so JP was in with a shout of a bracelet last night, and he says he bottled it, but to be honest, they ran the hand out anyway, and he wouldn't have won the hand anyway. So he banked the cash in the end, JP. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I got outplayed by an absolute genius, to be honest.
8
just
and
thinking
16
it through, and
he
knew where he was, Warren Jones, in the entire pot, and
32.
made sure position was on him, and fair play to him.
So min race from Dave. Alan makes a call. Dave in the big blind, and he just throws in the call as well. There we go, we'll get there eventually.
3 players then.
Yeah.
Here comes the flop in. Stu, what we got?
We have Queen of Diamonds, 10 of Hearts, 8 of Clubs. Alan checks from the small blind, big blind. Dave Stones, he makes a check. Right to Dubai Dave. He checks as well. So it's going to be the 8 of hearts on the turn. Alan bets what looks like 40,000.
Yeah, 40,000 there, Stu. Quite significantly less than the pot there. Fairly quickly called by Dave Stones. Dave Howard gets out of the way, so 2 players are going to see the river card who are in the blinds, Alan and Dave.
The 10 of spades on the river.
It's action on Alan, our chip leader at the start of the day. He checks. I think Dave will check behind. He does. And Alan chose Jack 8.
Wow, he turned the chips into full house.
And Dave was just playing an ace high.
I've had a raise from Dave in the small blind, and Aaron's announced re-raise with a big finger pointing in the air job. That's a raise to 77. Yeah. So the raise raises to what? 25, 30, 40,000. I'm trying to figure out what the min raise is. Blinds are at 8 and 16 with a 2,000 ante at the minute. And a call. So we're going to see a flop. Blind on blind here. The flop comes down. The 4 of diamonds, 6 of spades, queen of diamonds. And Dave to act. Four of diamonds, 6 of spades, queen of diamonds. Dave's having a good think. And checks. Was he? Was that a check? No, he wasn't. 100k and then...
Straight away, wasn't it?
Just
I'm all
instantly
in. Just
shoved all in.
Shake of both hands as I'm all in. Decision back on Dave.
I thought when he tapped the table, he checked it.
So the board is 4 of diamonds, 6 of spades, queen of diamonds. Dave's bet out 100,000 on that flop. Aaron has gone, I'm all in. They're blind on blind. Dave was in the small blind. Aaron was in the big blind. This is very much a decision for Dave's tournament life here. If he makes the call, it's going to be at risk.
I'm not sure, mate. It's one of them. He's already called off an all-in with a 5-high flush draw and a gut shot. Oh, he's going to fold. Just let it go. So he'll get the rest of his chips in a better spot. So Aaron takes down another pot, building it back up again.
That's Aaron starting to rebuild his stack.
We have Chris Webber to the poker room, please. That's Chris Webber to the poker room for a heads up match. Thank you.
Fold it around to Dave. Blinds are on Aaron and Craig. Dave and Andy both fold. Alan's going to have a think. Still playing about 1 billion chips at the minute.
Fine with Alan if he's in this type of position on the table. If it's folded round to him, he normally will grab some chips and have a stab at this.
So he's made 35,000.
Blinds are 8,000, 16,000 with the running
And
edge at
Aaron's
2,000
declared
now.
raise again.
So he said raise and is counting out 105,000. Craig gets out of the way. So Alan's asked how much you're playing. So Aaron, in this sort of spot, Aaron doesn't have to tell him how much he's playing. As long as he puts his chips out in front of him, you can say, well, there they are. You work it out yourself. The dealer doesn't need to get involved. But Alan's going to make the call, so we're going to see a flop. There are 2 chip leaders at the start of the day, and it'll be Aaron to act first. Here comes the flop, Stu.
Got the 5 of clubs, 9 of clubs, 10 of hearts.
And Aaron's reaching for a stack of yellow chips and makes it what I would suggest is 150 or maybe 175. 175. Got to put him on an over pair, I'm saying here.
Well, do we? We've seen him shove with top pair before, haven't we?
But that was up against shorter stacks. He's up against one of the chip leaders here now. But Alan's a quick think and has made the call. So both pairs are going to see a turn, and this is building to be one of the biggest pots where it's not been an all-in so far at the at this table. 7 of hearts.
All in and a call.
All in and a call. And it's pocket sevens for Aaron, and it's ace 10 of clubs. So just hang on a second, dealer.
Oh, no.
Put it down. Okay, so on the river, it's a 3rd club, and Alan hits his flush. So just to talk you through that, guys, Alan had hit top pair with a flush nut flush draw. On the turn, Aaron had made his set of sevens, and I didn't get to explain that very quickly because the dealer put the river card down, but it was a club on the river, and he wanted to get it over with, knew what was coming. Alan said, yeah, just get it, put it out there. So Alan needed a club on the river, and he got it, and we're going to lose Aaron in 8th place.
No, because now I've got him. No one else would have got him.
Second in chips coming into the day, and we lose him in 8th position.
He says set. I'm like, really? I'm like, Hollywood and the claw.
So our chip leader at the start of the day, I think probably lost the chip lead at one point, but has certainly got it back now. Alan Jones from Cardiff. Although I think I've got a feeling he's a Swansea supporter.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
He's from Cardiff, but he's a Swansea supporter. So, but we don't say that too loudly in Cardiff, yeah. So.
I believe he gets £620 for his efforts, so the minimum payout is now £775.
These guys are all guaranteed £775 now for their trouble.
Actually, to be fair, that's the only second hand I've been behind all in. Usually I just pop quads. Well, he's a bit like a bit, to be fair. But after we broke last night, I was just thinking it's going to be him this. 642. I can't pull 10. I can't pull 10 anyway.
It's in a raise to 32. So min raise from Alan. Dave quickly gets out of the way. On the buttons, Craig. Wait, sorry, yes, it's been a min raise under the gun from Dave Howard. Thank you to Ian to next to me for spotting that. Sometimes when Lucy distracts me. It's been called by Craig, Paul and Alan. So we Paul back first. The flop's going to come down at some point. When the Burns one comes down, King 7-8, Rainbow. Paul will check. Dave checks. Alan checks. Craig's reaching for some chips and bets 55,000. Paul quickly gets out of the way, as does Dave and Alan, and Craig will take it down. Nice pot. For the 7th day in a row, doing his furniture removal man job. Likes moving chairs around, knocking things up people's tables apparently. Tidying up, keeping his live stream area tidy. Raise from Craig to what looks like 29,000. Oh, sorry, no, I can't be right. So there's a 5,000 because you're there. About 33, 34,000. Dave's going to call 34,000 it was. Dave was in the big blind, so we're going to see the flop. Comes down 2 of clubs, king of diamonds, jack of clubs. Dave checks. Craig bets out. Looks like 40,000. Do struggle to see what it is with them black chips. Dave's going to fold. Craig will reckon another one. He shows the king.
So I reckon Alan's playing now about 2.3 million.
I will take your word for that.
I would suggest about 2.3, 2.2, 2.3 million. Of the 5.2 million chips in play.
Having a mild debate on the sidelines here with Ian questioning Lee's chip counting abilities. He's got a good eye for this. Just let him do it. He's always pretty much right.
I was quite polite about it though.
He was, yeah. Get off my rail.
No. I just Ian asked a question. I gave a sensible answer. He went, yeah, I agree. So that was fine. That's how it went, Ian, wasn't it?
Correct, yes.
Yes, boss.
Right, so a raise from Dave Howard after an initial raise from Craig. Craig's raised up to 35,000, and Dave Howard from the small blind has re-raised.
No, Craig
and Craig lets it go, showing pocket fours. And Dave Howard from the small blind scoops.
There's more chance of being kicked in the shin by a snowman than seeing Dave Howard's cards in that spot.
Dave's been quite quiet for the past few orbits. Not seeing much from him.
Well, it's just
As can be the same for Kieran in seat 9.
9, yep.
Very, very quietly, and Paul Haycock in seat 1.
Yeah, that pot early doors against Dave.
Yeah,
lost
but
the field,
really
apart from
haven't.
that, he's not.
Looks like he's hasn't really had spots or
No.
cards to play. Paul certainly comes to the final table with the most live cash of any of the players. He 2 years ago won a Venetian deep stack out in Vegas. The year before that, final tabled the Sky UKPC 6 Max.
And the thing is, Lee has not had to look at some Hendon mob because he knows.
Yes, Paul is a very, very good friend of mine. We roomed together in Vegas 2 years ago, and pretty much whenever we play events now, if we're playing together, we'll do a swap in each other. A very, very nice gentleman indeed.
Yeah, absolute star.
And so the only downside to this final table is I haven't got any percentage in him on this one because I wasn't playing.
Oh.
But he is giving 10% to your charity,
Yeah,
Stu. I say
absolutely
your
is.
charity, Stu, but a number of the guys have been playing this event for Click Sergeant for the I Raise for Jack poker night.
Yeah, we've got a really good week so far, and Paul is currently bolstering the numbers some more.
So the board here is 8 of clubs, King of diamonds, 9 of hearts. And it's Craig and Dave Howard in this hand. An initial raise by Craig, and Dave called on the button. And Craig has now checked this flop. And it looks like it's Dave reaching for chips, Stu. How much is he betting there?
94, I think.
94,000.
I think so.
And a fairly quick call from Craig. So we're going to see a turn card with this pot building nicely. It's the deuce of diamonds on the turn. Action round on Craig again, who will be at the on the bottom feed at the very top of the baseball cap. And Dave Howard is in the top feed in the black shirt.
Man lurking behind him with the microphone.
That'll be used to.
Obviously.
So I think Craig's checked it here. He has, and Dave's reaching for more chips. And he's made it 136,000. 136 into this pot, and Craig is counting out his yellow 25s, pops them back into his stack,
makes the call,
and just makes the call. So we're going to see a river with this pot now up over 400k. It's the 7 of spades. Actually, the pot is up near a 600k.
Wow.
Quickly counting it up. And it's a check from Craig, and Dave says I'm all in. So Dave Howard is all in with a pot at 600,000 on this board of 8 of clubs, king of diamonds, 9 of hearts, 2 of diamonds, 7 of spades. It's a decision on Craig. Craig sat in C8.
Yeah, he's basically in the situation where he shoves. It's not showing him his one pair kind of hands. He's got to think he's either hit his draw or he's bluffing.
So Craig has so far check called all the way down this board. Dave has fired out the third bullet. The third bullet is an all-in bullet. What's Craig going to do? It's just been suggested on the rail here that quite potentially 10 Jack could be in Dave's range on the button, and especially with the 8-9 on the flop, then
he's either got 10 Jack or sets. That's what it comes down to. In the tank here is a big decision for his life.
And Craig is still thinking.
You've got to put Dave on a king, I think.
So the feel on the rail is here that we're thinking Craig may well have a king. Maybe something like King Jack or King Queen perhaps. And it's whether he thinks Dave is at it or not, or has Dave actually rivered now a made hand. Craig still thinks.
I do think that Dave can play 8s, 9s and 7s like this as well though.
So Craig is in the bottom, on the bottom feed in the baseball cap, and his thinking goes on, and he's gonna muck, and he folds, and Dave Howard is gonna take down that pot.
Very good.
And add a good 350,000 to his stack. Very well played from the Team Gotham player. So it's a raise to 35,000 here from Andy McBean, and it's been called by Craig in the small blind, and Kieran's folded in the big blind, so it's going to be 2 players to see the flop. Here it comes. And it's the Jack of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 6 of clubs. Something there for everyone, really. And Craig checks, and Andy's reaching for some chips and makes it 30,000. Enough, and Craig folds. It's Kieran in the small blind, Paul Haycock in the big blind, Dave folds, Andy folds, chip leader Alan folds, Dave Stones folds, round to Craig on the button. What's he going to do with it? He's having a look to see how much Paul Haycock is playing in the big blind. And raises it up to what looks like about 150k. All in. So he's put his chips in front and is now. So I think there was some confusion at the table as well. Yeah, Dave Howard said he thought he said all in, but the all in triangle is now over there. So he just put his 25k chips across the line and has pushed all in from the button. Decision on Paul Haycock. Craig is going to have Paul covered, so Paul's decision here would be putting his tournament life at risk. And Paul folds. So we've got another 20 minutes left of this level. The blinds at 8,000, 16,000 and a running ante of 2,000. So I've got Natalie and Adam Bromley both on the rail here. Natalie's waiting to play the final heads-up game. This could be you now. Well, I was about to say how's things going, but you're going to go and play. Well, good luck, Natalie.
Thank you.
Excellent. So Natalie's off to play the final heads-up of the first round match. Adam, unfortunately, already busted her, mate, yeah?
Yeah.
We won't talk about it now.
No.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Bromley. So they're both also railing Paul Haycock in seat 1.
Everyone loves Paul.
Yeah, Adam says I'd better go and rail Natalie, actually. Yeah, you'll be in trouble, mate, otherwise, yeah. So he's going to go off and watch his wife play heads up. See how she gets on. We'll see whether she can do better than he did anyway.
Won't be difficult by the sounds of it, but I'm saying the valets are efficient around here. You leave yourself a couple of mouthfuls of your drink, you come back and it's
Ely's, whilst you're away, Ely's already been there. Whilst we're going on, Kieran's all in from the button. Paul's gone all in from the small blind. Kieran's got ace-8 of clubs, and it's pocket jacks for Paul. Looking at the stack size, it's going to be Paul. Ooh, they are very close, actually. I think it's just we think. So we're going to see the flop. Jacks against ace-8.
Oh, wow.
And it's missed an ace, but there's 2 clubs out on the board for the ace-8. Here comes the turn.
Oh.
A 6. It needs to be an ace or a club, and a queen on the river. That's going to be a double up for Paul. We're just going to count it up anyway and see where we're at. So 217 is the count, I think, for Paul. 267. Oh, missing your 50s there. 267, and we're just going to count that up. And actually, Paul's got Kieran covered. Kieran says, yeah. So we are going to lose Kieran in 7th place. Very well played to him. we're down to six. We're down to 6 players. Paul, having sat very quietly, not doing very much, gets pretty much a full double up there. Really, there wasn't very. I said it was so close to call when I was looking at the 2 stacks there. Not a lot between them.
So I think Kieran's Water is £775 there.
And we are down to 6 players, and they're all now guaranteed.
980.
Wow.
Come on. This is where it's going to start. This is where it starts getting into the serious money now, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely. We've got another 18 minutes left at this level. Blinds us 8,000, 16,000 with a running ante of 2,000.
Break it in this level, is that so?
We are going to give the guys a break at the end of this level, yeah.
It's a long grind, isn't it? Especially at this stage. There's a lot of pressure on.
For 15 minutes. That's the plan. We actually haven't put any of the breaks in. The plan will be that it'll be every 2 hours, but we will just manage this as we go to make sure the guys and give the guys a good dinner break as well later on.
Yeah, definitely. We've got an all-in from Dave.
He's just got the blinds to get through because Craig's folded and Paul's folded. Dave Howard in the small blind folds. Alan's asked how much, and it's 122 for Dave Stones. Alan's having a good thinking about it. Alan's in the top feed in the grey shirt, just in the middle there with a black background behind him.
The grey and grey.
He has made the call, so it's pocket queens for Dave Stones, it's pocket sevens for Alan. It's the queens that are at risk here. We're going to see the flop. Andy with the sevens, Dave with the queens. Queens at risk, king 3 ace is looking good for the queens at the moment. A queen on the turn is going to do it, and Dave is going to get a double up through. Going to get a double up through Andy McBean. Whilst they're counting that up, I said Natalie was just going to play the final heads-up game. Well, she's playing Gilly. For those of you that watched Gilly on the stream the other night, he plays in a whale costume. So Natalie is playing a whale heads-up in the last first round game.
Just so they can see the squiggle. To be fair, yeah, thank you.
Dave, and gets that through on the board of ace 5 6, and on we go. So Craig's folded under the gun, and Paul has raised it up to 35,000, which has been re-raised from the chip leader in the small blind. Paul's obviously just recently had double up, hardly played any hands. I've got Chris Webber on the rail with me. This is the chip leader using his big stack, would you say, Chris?
Again, I haven't seen any of the table dynamic. I would have assumed that the big dealer has been, the big chip stack has been active. And yeah, it's a difficult decision for Paul here. You know, he's got to decide. Obviously, his hand plays a part if he is going to be four jamming, which actually got too much for just about 500k. So yeah, the chip leaders recognise that Paul's stack is very awkward, and he can be doing this with almost impunity here. And Paul does look pained. Is just utilising his chip advantage here, and as I say, Paul has a really awkward stack size here, so I'd imagine that the chip leader has recognised this and is probably going to be 3-betting a very wide range here.
How do you like his bet size in there? Up to 100k? Nice. It's just enough to ask the question, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, what did Paul make it?
35.
35. I mean, if it was position, if I had position, I'd be looking to 5x, but obviously being out of position, you just want to make it a little bit more. So effectively, he asked the question. It's not irrelevant of whether there's an extra big blind or two in there. The fact is that Paul's stack size is so awkward. He's just handcuffed.
Yeah, and he has. Paul has really not played many hands in this final table so far. Got a double up though, and we've gone from 9 to 6 in just under 2 hours. And on we go. Dave Stone's in the small blind and Craig in the big blind. Paul to act first, he folds. Round we go to Dave Howard. He folds, as does Andy McBean.
Andy's playing very, very snug today, isn't he?
Absolutely. So we're round to our chip leader on the button. So far, every time it's folded round to him in this type of position, he has raised it up pretty much every time. And he makes it 35,000. Dave folds and Craig folds. Nobody wants to.
It should have been 36,000, shouldn't it?
No, it's 816.
I don't know why I thought it was 918.
That would be the strangest of
blind level. Yeah, it's
blind
been
level.
a long week. I think my eyes are working anymore.
I can't comment because I think I've made numerous mistakes already today. It's get to the point where the flop comes out and you have to take a couple of seconds for your brain to compute what the 3 cards are that are currently out showing.
I've had to repeat myself a few times just because I'm not sure if I've actually said them right first time.
I mean, you Chris, you've played most of the tournaments this week. I mean, I dread to think how many hands do you reckon you've been dealt this week? Thousands, isn't it?
Probably not nearly as many as that. To get dealt thousands, you need to make breaks.
Oh, really? Okay, fair enough.
Are you playing the heads up today?
I am playing the heads up today, yes. Got through my round of 64, so now we're going to be redrawing, I think, to the round of 30, so I think it's just one match left.
Oh, excellent. And I can see the whale is in play.
So Andy McBean under the gun here, having a bit of a think. What's he going to do?
Andy's raised him under the gun a few times today, hasn't he? And after saying he's played fairly snug. But he does seem to have it a lot.
Yeah, it looks like he's he's counting out another raise, and he does, and it's 95,000.
What?
Makes it 95,000 to play, and it folds all the way round to Dave Howard's. David actually raised. Sorry, my mistake here. David actually raised it up under the gun to 32,000, so that makes more sense. And Andy raises it to 95, and Dave folds. That makes a lot more sense now, Stu. Craig's button, and it's folded round to him. That normally means a raise.
Usually, and indeed it does.
And he makes it 35k. Paul gets out of the way in the small blind. And Dave really doesn't like the look of those two cards, so he
No.
folds as well. Raise from Paul on the button. That takes that one down. The 10 of spades was exposed, so that becomes the first burn card. And we folded all the way round after an initial raise from Craig.
Wayne, do you make it through? Do you make it?
Alan adds to his stack there from the small blind, and it's now his button. We've got about 4 minutes left of this level, and the players will then be on a 15-minute break. We'll take that opportunity to stack up, chip up a few of their chips, and also just slightly move them around the table to make the cameras a little bit better for you catching what's going on at home. So it's Dave's small blind, Craig's big blind, which means it's Paul Haycock to act first under the gun here, and he's made it 40,000 to go. Dave Howard gets out of the way, as does Andy McBean. Goes round to our chip leader on the button, he folds. Just the blinds to get through then. Dave Stones folds in the small blind. Craig's not interested in the big blind, and Paul gets that one through.
Six-handed now, we'll probably see a few more early position raises in getting through because there's less people to actually act behind.
Also interesting at this point in the tournament to know how many How many players have got experience of playing short-handed tables, but not just short-handed tables where you're playing, you're breaking tables. There's actually short-handed deep stack tables. There's a massive difference to that strategy.
I was speaking to Jay earlier, and I saw Jay yesterday. He said that cash game players tend to have a bit of an edge in these kind of tournaments because they're used to playing like ultra deep, whereas a lot of tournament players are only used to playing with 20 to 25 big blinds.
Absolutely. So Dave Howard folds under the gun here. We go round to Andy McBean. He's reaching for some chips. And he's going to make it 35,000. Our chip leader gets out of the way, Alan. And Dave Stones folds, gets through the small blind of Craig. It's just a big blind of Paul Haycock. And Paul's going to fold. And Andy gets that through.
It's for the So we're going to have the button on Craig. Paul in the small blind, Dave in the big blind. So it'll be Andy to whack first. Andy will let it go. We're out with the chip leader Alan, he lets it go as well. Dave's going to fold as well. On to Craig on the button. As we said before, he does tend to raise a lot. He's been folded to him. He raises it up to 35,000. Paul gets out of the way. And Dave's going to let the big blind go. And Craig shows ace jack. A little bit of, no one likes a show off, you know. But there we go, he gets it through again. Lee. Left of this level. Lee says it's probably the last hand. This is always a risky thing to say. Usually when everyone just turbo folds and someone gets a walk.
45 seconds.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we might struggle now.
Unless there's some turbo folding going on here.
Yeah. Let's get another hand in.
Because Alan really wants to get his big blind hand in before the break. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, he is getting a bit short there, isn't he?
There we go. Fold from Alan. Dave Stones. Craig folds around to Paul's button. And Paul's going to make it 40,000. Dave Howard in the small blind and Andy McBean in the big blind. Decision on Dave Howard. He folds. And Andy's going to fold. 5-4. By the time we get there, we'll call that a break, guys. We'll be back. We'll be back in 15 minutes. We'll keep the stream up and live whilst we just do a little bit of a chip count and race off or get rid of some of these shorter stacks. But we'll see you guys back in 15 minutes.
you're going to have a fag break, mate? I've done these. Thanks, mate. You've done these. Great.
Hide this somewhere, I've had it, I can steal the rest of it.
Here, put it here. We'll not let them come in. Just leave it there, mate.
Am I going to get away with this or not? Like 50.
The whites on the well, as long as yeah, they've got whites.
Flash there, isn't there? Can't believe how quick this has gone down. You're like 50 big blinds average stack when you first started. Run like God. Really? Was it? Can you imagine playing for 2 days and doing that?
I mean, just doubling up shorties like lines of 6.
Yeah. I'll bet.
And then please give Phil Vanderwagen, ladies and gentlemen, poker room Simlow in the Crazy Championship, the Crazy Panama Championship. Phil Vanderwagen,
Let's call it the Crazy Championship. Yeah.
2.2 million. Fuck.
What is 8?
800,000?
9, 10, mil, 1.1, say 1.2.
1.2? Lovely, mate.
And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 300k there. Right. There's a big enough difference to goals. It's not going to be a problem at all, alright?
Yes, mate. You want them?
Stefan Fischer, ladies and gentlemen, poker room. Stefan Fischer to the poker room Simlow in the Crazy Panama Championship.
Probably get up to about 80, 90 players in that crazy pineapple with it being 20-minute clock on a 10k stack.
They're all wanting to play it, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're all in. Everybody's in. There's no waiting.
Well, that's good because it's nice players turning up and it still has something to.
Yeah. I mean, an hour delay, but everybody seems to suck it up. You know, there's no problem.
It's not a good league.
Brilliant, mate. You know what my feelings are
They
with
know,
it,
they
mate.
know that they know there's nowhere else they can play all this kind of stuff, so they're quite scared. Do you know what? Yeah, that's what we're going to do to make it work. It's like when we said about the heads up, it's like, let's get more in.
Yeah.
You have to put a preliminary round in. These guys are turning back home, they want to play a bit of heads up.
Yeah. No, you know what my feelings are on your thing, mate. You know what I mean? It's the best thing I've come across. No, no prima donnas, none of that bullshit. It's all bollocks, that to me. And I'm a very honest man, as you probably gathered. Big chips on display.
Attention please, can Adam Sapper, ladies and gentlemen, poker room desk, that Adam Sapper to the poker room desk. Simlow in the Crazy Panama Championship.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Agreed?
No.
14 chips, that's 5. 14, 700. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. in the hole, it's no limit hold'em. Reflop, it's spot limit hold'em. And then the flop comes down, round of betting is no limit hold'em. Before the turn card is dealt, you discard one card and two cards and no limit hold'em, turn and refill. Very easy, a bit more gambling involved. Brilliant. 240, 250. Okay, 250, that's it. Alright. 5 chips.
Takže dneska Alex Montgomery make up the problem. That's Alex Montgomery do the problem. He's level with the tunnel.
I'm going to take another one of these, alright? Yeah. $500. That's 10. About 1.3 million now, alright. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him 3, like that. And then we'll go like that. Alright? 1.3. All that.
What have you got with hundreds?
Yeah, hundreds,
Why didn't you just put the hundreds in play and not the 50s then, rather than having 1, 2, 3,
I'll do you know? I'll pull them in.
I'd do one or the other, yeah. I wouldn't do both. No problem. Because we're already at, what, you've got 3 colours out, otherwise you're going to end up with 5 colours of chips out, and it seems a bit... I mean, what, you've got 5.1 million in place, and 50 is pretty much as it needs to be, isn't it? I would just say, yeah.
No problem, my friend.
Confusing for the players and confusing for everyone else. Well, yeah, actually confusing for us.
Simple man.
You're at the end of your 10th day, as easy as possible, and now you want to check. No worries, you got another 5 minutes yet, yeah? I'll take these and then I'll count them. I know what I've... Where's that red chips gone? The other 10 red chips I was looking for. These are the flop now. So there's a mill coming up. 2 mil coming up, yeah? Okay, that's great. Balance that one there, come on. Cats on, ready to go. Button right.
Slightly around, not too much. Great, right? Lovely. Hopefully you can just get a little bit of a single one now as the wheel spreads around, right? Yeah, just pop you round there to add to there. And
100. All right. 20. 150. Yeah. I'm sure you get it right. Oh, you mean? No, just check it. 120 and 10 things here. 120 and. I'll set you up right as a black chip. So we've got 1,000,000.3, yeah?
In that rack, is it?
Players are just returning from their break. We're chipping up a lot of the chips on the table now. So we're going to get some 50k chips in play. Just to try and get the stacks more manageable for the dealers when they're counting out all-ins, as the players know. So while they're just getting all this sorted out, I'll give you a rundown of the chip stacks that are remaining. So we've got Paul Haycock, who's on 550,000. Dave Howard on 1.2 million. Andy McBean on 360,000. Alan Jones on 2.2 million as chip leader. Dave Stones on 192,000. And Craig Heaton on 583,000. And they're our 6 players left. So the blinds are about to go up to 10,000, 20,000 with a 2,000 running ante. Average stack is 856,700. Obviously those are spread around pretty much between 2 of the stacks. Got most of the chips in play. We're going to start again to get these extra chips off the table.
I'm glad they made the final because I told them the other day that I'd wear it on this if I made it. Thankfully, someone's already wearing it. You haven't seen that?
right then, so off we go. Level 21. Blinds are 10,000, 20,000 with 2. Yeah, I'm coming.
So Andy will be the small blind for 10k, with Alan on the big blind, the big stack with 20,000 chips. It's going to be Dave first to act. Dave at the far end on the bottom right screen. He folds just Craig and Paul. So it's right to Dave on the button. Raises up to 40,000. Andy in the small blind makes a call. Alan lets it go, so we're going to see Dave and Andy to the flop. Flop comes down, 7 of hearts, king of diamonds, 5 of spades. To be Andy first to act. So the new chips on the table, the black and white ones, are 50,000 chips. Andy bets out for 65. So Andy's made it 65 first to act on the flop. King 7-5 rainbow. Dave makes the call, so we're going to go the turn. 6 of hearts. It's probably about 230, 240,000 chips in the pot, isn't it? Andy will check to Dave. I think it's about 230, 240,000 in the pot. Dave will bet out for 250,000. Which is basically going to be Andy called Andy folds. So Dave will take down another big old pot. Adds to his stack. So the raise from Craig gets through. Shows something there, I didn't quite catch what it was, but it was a misdeal. Oh, yeah, Andy had ace king, that's always pleasing.
It's all starting to get close to medal positions. And one of these 6 is going to scoop 7 grand, the WCOAP main event exclusively designed bracelet and a trip to Vegas. Have you actually seen the bracelet, Chris Webber?
No, I haven't, Lee.
It is fantastic, really nice, very weighty, bit of bling. Not everybody's thing, I must admit. Bracelets. A lot of
like mine.
A lot of the players do like them as a memento of their performance in whichever event it is they
takes
play.
it and throws them into a cupboard under the stairs, I think, and forgets about them.
But the main event one is a special one, gold bracelet. All the other events this week, all of the 17 have all been bracelet events though, so we've dished out a lot. The team event, obviously, there's 4 for those with the international team event. And last night in the cash game, that last hand, there's a couple of the guys there were desperate to get a bracelet, and they were trying to make that decision: do they risk their entire cash stack for the sake of trying to win that bracelet?
Warren decided very much yes.
And the 460.
And the 460.
And the 460.
Well, there's money as well, obviously. There's money as well.
Yeah, of course.
There always is, because actually, without money, poker would be a fun game to play, and the dynamic would completely change.
I'm not even sure it'd be fun.
That's fair. It's fair enough. Yeah, you can say that, Chris. You can say that. You heard it here first.
True colours for a brief second there.
Chris Webber only has fun when there's money involved.
Get a raise from Alan on the button, and it was re-raised by Craig, and he got it straight through. Alan just folded. Tristan luckily pointing out there was action while the rest of us were just giggling in the background.
So Dave is really the short stack at the table here now, with blinds at 10,000, 20,000. He has about 180 cases. He's only got 9 bigs now. So you're 6-handed here, Mr. Chris Webber. You really are short stacked. You're under 10 bigs. Is it just pretty much just a shove or fold?
But yeah, absolutely. He's got no post-flop play. He's all possibly even let himself dip below a good 3-jam stack now, so he can't even sort of look to isolate a late position raise from someone who's going to be opening a bunch of hands. He's now just literally got to find a hand and get it in.
So we've got a raise from Dave Howard here. He makes it 40,000. Andy folds. Our chip leader, Alan, is having a think as he's riffling some of his green 1K chips. Alan's on the bottom feed on the left-hand side. You can see him there. And he's going to raise it up to 100,000. Dave Stones folds, so does Craig. So we're round to Paul Haycock. He folds. So back to the original under-the-gun raiser, which was Dave Howard. He bet 40,000. Our chip leader, Alan, has made it 100k. These are the top two stacks at the moment, and Dave gets out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, Dave's in a really awkward position at the moment now. Alan's able to, exploit his chip and positional advantage for 4 of the 6 hands around the table. Furthermore, when we can see chap in the red at the end, we can see the other Dave is very short. The chip leader can again sort of exploit that because, you know, players are ultimately they're playing to win, but they don't want to commit any sort of ICM suicide. For Dave to go broke to the big stack would be catastrophic at this stage. So yeah, if I was Alan, then yeah, he's just going to be just maximum aggression now. He's got such a big stack that even if he was to lose the second largest stack, he'd still have over 1 million chips in play, still 50 big blinds, which is absolutely unheard of for an APAT event. And I think it's absolutely fantastic what's been done to the structure this year. It's really has created a great feel for this final table, and it's certainly letting I think the skill element show here.
Paul Haycock's made up the small blind, and Dave Howard decides to check his options. So Stu, we're going to see a flop. And it is the 7 of hearts, 2 of hearts, Queen of hearts. As Stu's busy trying to chew down.
Just absolutely choked on a lozenge. Cheers.
On a locket. That's how we roll in the commentating area these days.
Chris got me with this one the other day when I was shoveling stuff down my face.
That was intentional.
Bet out from Paul. Dave folds. Yeah. If you'd have seen us earlier on in the week, we'd have been busy swigging beers. Now we're sucking on lozenges, trying to keep voices intact to get through the end of the day. It's been a week and a half, hasn't it, Chris?
Oh, it absolutely has. It's been a fantastic week, and I think I can probably speak for everyone in this card room. Just to say a massive thank you to APAT for once again putting on a fantastic week of poker. Great for social recreational poker. Really enjoyed ourselves, and yeah, thank you very much.
You are more than welcome. We're all about the players. That's what we do it for, and there's nowhere else you can get to play these sorts of games live for this sort of money. So we folded all the way around to Paul Haycock's button. He's got Andy McBean in the big blind and Dave Howard in the small. So Paul has made it 45,000 to go. Now Dave will know Paul's game very well here and know that Paul will see this as a spot to make a move.
Interestingly, yes, but Paul will be opening a lot of his buttons, but based on the perfect 3-jam stack from the big blind, and I don't know how aggressively the big blind's been playing, you have to feel that Paul has a hand that would be calling off should he get shoved on.
So Dave Howard has made it 115,000 from the small blind. So Paul's raise was to 45,000, and Dave Howard has made it 115,000.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely standard at this point. You're looking to say to 2x to 5x here. Obviously, Paul's made his blind a little bit, his raise a little bit bigger. Possibly trying to give the impression to the big blind that he has to call any shove, so maybe he's a little bit lighter. But I think we've seen Paul.
And Paul's folded, yeah. Paul folds.
You know, this is the perfect spot for the big stacks to exercise their chip position here. You know, like I say, we've got a couple of short stacks. We've got Dave 2. Apologies, I don't know his last name. Stones. We've got Dave Stones, who's very short, and I believe even our see 8. Craig, what's Craig playing here?
Just shy 6.
Oh, okay, so we've still got 30 big blinds. So yeah, other than Dave, it looks like everyone's still got plenty of play in them.
So to where we are money-wise, guys, these guys are all guaranteed £980, and the money jumps go 1,315, then 1,910. Then we get into the medal positions. Bronze medal will pick up 2,965. Silver will pick up 4,775, and up top, gold medal position, picking up the bracelet, picking up the Destination Vegas package, week out in Vegas with us in June, plus £7,080. So Dave Howard is saying he wants 2 cards to play this hand. I mean, it's very, who does he think he is?
Got the all in. The
So
end of the table.
Dave Stones is all in from under the gun. It folds all the way around. Is our big stack in the big blind going to... He's asking for a count. He's not looked at his cards. He's asking for a count. Alan says I'm going to call. So Alan has a pair of 6s, and it's King 7 for Dave Stones. It's the King 7 that is at risk here, so we're very much going to the races. Here comes the flop. And it's 9 Ace 7, so Dave's got one of his 7s, just needs to avoid a 6 now, and Dave is going to get a double up. And he does that, and Dave Stones gets a double up with a very tiny round of applause from his rail. It was just, yes.
Mr. Webber.
Fair play. No, I quite like that. I mean, it's King 7 offsuit. He's a short stack. He's under the gun. He's made a decision there pretty much. Right, okay, I'm going to get it in and have a go at spinning it up and see either I'll get it through because nobody's got anything at all, 6-handed, or take my chances.
He's actually in an odd position, and he doesn't want to let the lines go through. And furthermore, the table's playing so aggressively that more often than not now, his stack is not going to be large enough to 3-bet over an open, which we're getting every hand. He almost needs to just be able to get his chips in the pot first. With a hand like King 7 under gun, I certainly don't blame him for moving.
And also, it's interesting, if you're playing there and you're really card dead, you're not seeing any cards, sometimes you see a king and you just go, that's the best thing I've seen for the past hour and a half. I might just go with it.
Well, I agree. Yeah, obviously a king being a good card, but he's got to maximise his fold equity, and he's got none now to 3-bet over an open.
So that doubles Dave up, still makes him at the table, but he's got a little bit more to play with.
I think he's lurking around about 16 bigs, and now he has got a 3-jam stack, so he has got he's got some more options available to him now.
So he's in the big blind this time, and Craig's folded, as has Paul and Dave. So we're round to Andy on the button, and Andy is going all in. Our big stack gets out of the way in the small blind, and Dave doesn't want to damage his newly stacked up chips.
Got the call lead.
What was a call from where? Call from Craig and open under the gun. I missed that. So it's King Jack for Andy and it's Ace Queen for Craig. It's the King Jack at risk. And he's hit a king on that flop. Still a fair bit to dodge though.
And that is not a card that he wants to see, and we lose our player in 6th place.
Andy McBean, he finishes in 6th place, picking up £980. Under the gun raise from Craig with Ace Queen, and Andy shoves from the button with King Jack, thinking he might be doing that light and get it through, but Craig makes the call, and Craig Eaton adds to his stack, and we're going to lose Andy in 6th place, and we're down to 5.
Okay, so we've got a flop of Jack of Spades, 9 diamonds, 4 of hearts, so a rainbow. I could very much do with seeing the names. So we've got Craig, who is in the big blind. It's checked, as has Dave Howard. We've got a turn now of the 6 of hearts, putting a 2 flush on board. And it's checked through. And we have a river pairing the 4. Craig at this point takes opportunity to bet 52,000. And Dave lets it go. So Craig increases his chip stack. We've got Craig now, who's playing. Well, Okay, Craig will give us an updated chip count shortly. Obviously, having accumulated the chips from the recently departed Andy McLean. I estimate he's playing around 750. Got Paul Haycock in seat 1 playing around 500. Dave with about 1.2. Still got our chip leader at around 2 million. And then we've got Aaron Henley.
No, Dave.
Oh, apologies. Yes, Dave Stone, who's still short, but now working with what appears to be around 360.
Yeah, apparently Joe Smith's got his evening sorted in our fine company. Nice to see you, Joe. Hope take it you've got a few alcoholic beverages by your side.
Right, we've got a
He's watching this stream on his TV in the front room, on YouTube, on a smart TV. You can all do that if you want to.
Nice to see you, Joe.
We've got a very wet flop, and a bet from Paul takes it down.
So breakfasts. This morning in the casino, there was a distinct lack of sausages and eggs.
And beans.
And beans.
And mushrooms.
Oh, and mushrooms.
And bacon.
And bacon. So we had. I personally
bread.
I had a sausage sandwich earlier, which is good. JP Round the other day managed to get an aubergine and some kind of fancy cheese baguette with poached eggs for breakfast the other day.
But you've seen him with that beard. He's a bit of a hipster, isn't he?
Definitely is. Definitely is. So I think it's a controversial choice for breakfast. He's gone on his croissants and stuff. I just want some grease.
Craig has just informed me he's actually over 900,000 now. Ron Alan Jones, who's open to 50,000. And that bet from Alan gets it through. I mean, what have we seen, Stu? Obviously, you've been watching a lot more of this final table than me. Have we had a lot of sort of raise and takes pre-flop, or we had sort of people 3-betting, or just calling in position?
The 3 bets have mainly come from Dave. He had a couple of doors. He's got himself going, and then he's been very, very. He's putting a lot of pressure on down the streets against people when they're playing against him. He's obviously excellent at ranging people. That's one of his massive skills, and he's piling the pressure on in position.
And I mean, that's good as well. You know, players are perhaps less likely to want to defend against those opens now, knowing how strong he will play down the streets, and knowing that, you know, whilst they might be calling 40, 50,000 pre-flop, they're, you know, he's going to put them to the test for a lot of their chips.
So once he gets chips,
and we've got a shove here from Dave Stones. From Dave Stones for about his 350 perhaps. And he does get that through.
So apart from that, there's been just a lot. There's been a lot of raising and taking the last hour or so. Whereas because the stack's getting a bit deeper, people are they say they're generally just there's a lot of raising in early to mid position and getting it through because we're getting all short-handed. Paul's been fairly snug. I don't think he's been getting many hands, and he's got Dave in position on him all the time. It's just a horrible spot. You have to feel now that Paul has the most difficult seat at the table. He's got the 2 most aggressive players and the 2 largest stacks immediately on his left. Paul is quite handcuffed in his position here. He's got the experience to kind of deal with it and pick his spots.
Absolutely. Paul's more than capable of sort of overcoming this sort of disadvantage that he's got at the moment. He's a very seasoned player.
Yeah.
Complete from Alan in the small. Oh no, apologies. We see a raise. We see a raise.
60,000. Alan's played his big stack fairly well. He's putting a lot of pressure on when it falls. When Dave gets out of the way and he's got position, he's opening most hands.
In some cases, it's almost like an unwritten agreement amongst 2 big stacks that are sort of in position on the table. You see,
just keep out of the way of each other. get the pressure on the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean certainly the Alan has the upper hand, being that much deeper than Dave, that he can, if he wants to go to war with Dave, he can.
Yeah.
Also being in position obviously allows him to
Yeah.
to 3-bet and call and make Dave's life difficult.
Yeah. And Paul will go first with Craig in the big blind and Dave in the small blind. Falls to Dubai Dave. Reaches for some chips. Puts in a raise. No, was it? Yes. Yeah. Min raised 40,000. Alan and everyone folds. Dave will take it down.
The impression there's quite a lot of respect around this table from each of the players towards the others. I think they're all, you know, they're all recognising that there's a talented bunch of guys out there.
Yeah.
Then I have to say, I think again that is largely due to this amended structure that APAT have implemented.
Yeah.
You know, I may have made the point before, but I can't stress how incredible it is for £100 buy-in to go onto a final table where the average stack is 50 big blinds.
Yeah,
I mean, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know that in itself will allow cream to rise, and you know you are going to get your best players here.
Yeah. So we fall around to Craig in the small blind. Paul's big blind. Craig's going to just complete. Paul looks at his cards. Makes another 50,000 to go. So it's 70,000 in total. And Craig lets it go. Paul will take down the blinds and antes. On the card today we've got the Heads Up Championship, which is currently playing out, and we've got the Crazy Pineapple, which I believe's got an alternates list at the minute.
Yes, we do have an alternates list. We've got the Heads Up running at the same time, and we are quite short of dealers. So I believe they've only got 5 tables of the Pineapple running.
Yeah.
And obviously, as people bust out the Heads Up, they'll be looking to jump into that one as well.
I'm going to say a flop and the blinds, I think it is. Yes, Dave, Paul and Dave. Flop comes down. 3 of clubs, 8 of hearts, Jack of diamonds. Paul will check to Dave. Dave will check behind. Turn comes the Queen of clubs. Paul will check again. Dave makes it 27,000 to go. Paul flicks in the call quite quickly. So we've got the river. The river is the king of diamonds. Again, it's on Paul to whack first, and he checks. Dave saying he doesn't think he's going to get Paul to fold. Paul shows Jack 5 of hearts for the flop pair, and Paul will take down the pot.
Thanks for commentating.
been away for a while, to saying he was going to move a chair and be back in a minute. Oh my God. We've got a raise and a call on the feature table. Clock's down 4 of clubs, 10 of diamonds, 4 of diamonds. Alan checks to Craig, who checks back, so we've got to see the turn. Is the queen of diamonds. We've just lost the flop cam for a second, so he's going to give us 2 minutes to get that back for you. Alan's going to bet out for 55,000. Craig will make the call. River is the Jack of Hearts. Actions on Alan again, our chip leader. Cheers, mate. It's a bet of what looks like 125,000. Is it 220? Yeah, 125,000 bet by Alan. And a call from Craig. Trip 4s for Alan. And the flush on the turn for Craig will take down a decent sized pot there.
Okay guys, still counting 20k BB. Gonna have Craig under the gun. Yep. Right, okay guys, we've got a fold from Craig, fold from Paul. Dave Howard on the button, he's going to come in for 40,000. Alan's going to fold. Dave Stone's fold, and Dave Howard wins the pot.
Saying that more and more often as this tournament goes on.
Yeah, I like the way it sounds, Steve, to be honest.
One of your boys? Is that by your usual standards, or? Using our co-commentator Chris as he's back into the heads up. See who's going to go and wreck this time.
Yeah, that's right. Stu, we just heard Chris's name called for round 2, the heads up, so good luck to him.
Dons the cap and picks up his bag.
He can't play without him, Stewie.
Obviously not.
Right, Friday round. DH is going to come in for an open to 40k.
You alright?
And he's going to take that one down, guys.
Howard wins another pot.
Right, okay, Stu. Dave's going to come in for 40,000. Folded all the way around to Paul in the big blind. He's going to defend, mate.
Yeah, make the call.
It's Ace King 6 with 2 hearts.
Yep. So Paul will check.
Dave's going to bet 38.
Yep.
Yep. And Paul folds.
So, well, Chris, you go with it.
We got Alan's going to be under the gun for this one, guys. He's going to fold. Dave Stones folds. Craig folds. Over to Paul in the small. He's going to make it 50k. He's going to call, going to see another flop stew.
The flop comes down, 6 of diamonds, 3 of hearts, 6 of hearts. Paul checks. So does Dave behind. Turns the 3 of clubs. Paul will check. Dave checks behind again. River is the 5 of spades. Paul will check and Dave checks behind. I think Paul declared king high yet. And Dave just nods in appreciation and shuffles his cards over the line. Leaves them as far away from the dealer as is physically possible, though, whilst getting them over the line. Yeah, as I said, honestly, the action that we just saw between Dave and Paul there, I bet you're all glad that you're watching. Unfortunately, Lee's not here at the minute, so you have to put up with me and Tris. Oh, yeah. Lee doing his best circus clown act.
Right, okay, guys. Dave Stone's under the gun. He's going to fold. As does Craig. As does Paul on the button. As does Dave. So, Alan's going to get a walk.
Again, the action is just unbelievable.
Crowd's going wild here, Stewie, I can tell.
Yeah, the rails building, as I've heard. All the action going on while we're this deep in the tournament. If you want to get in touch with us, just use the comments box beneath the feed. Feel free to have a chat with us if you're on Facebook, and we'll try and answer your questions. Or if you're on YouTube, it's a little bit more difficult for us because it's hard for us to access that while we're doing commentary. So just pop on the Facebook page, say hello. Hope you're enjoying it so far. The action falls around to Paul.
I think he's going to come in for an open, Stu.
Yeah, there we go, 50,000. Dave folds, Alan folds. Dave Stones in the big blind will let it go, and Paul will get it through. We need to see flops. 10,000, 20,000 with a 2,000 running ante. We are down to the last 5. I got a quick count because I'd forgotten how many people are left. We each playing now for just over £1,000 if I could find these notes which he's run off with. Oh, just borrow that, Tris. Yes, so the next prize will be £1,315. So the money is starting to get fairly serious. So
Right, Steve, Paul's going to fold from under the gun. Dave's going to open to 40k. Alan's going to fold button. Dave Stones folds the small blind. Craig folds the big blind. Dave Howard's going to win the pot.
Nearly, my favourite player in the week was Chuck Checks on his final table. It was endlessly amusing. It was on the PLO final table, and there was a lot of Chuck checking and other people checking as well.
I can imagine you, Stu. You've got to be a bit careful on your chuck check-in when a few pints have been...
there was a few consumed that night, I'll tell you. The heads up lasted for about 2.5 hours. It's great to see Chuck win, though. It's lovely that he's been able to see us today.
So, Mr. Howard is under the gun. He's going to fold. Alan's going to fold. Dave Stones folds button. Craig's going to complete still, I think.
See a flop between Craig and Paul. As Paul checks his option. 10 of clubs, Jack of hearts, 6 of spades. Oh my. Threat of a bet from Craig. Paul instantly gets rid of it. And we're going to move on again. Dave's big blind. Paul in the small. Dealer who nearly falls straight into Tristan. What it is with the floor on day today is apparently like some kind of death trap. Schmoozing on the rails, so he'll be with me and Tristan for the foreseeable, I think. He's emerged from his cave. A quick wander over the feature table.
Okay then, Stewie, I don't want to interrupt you, but Dave Stones has moved all in on this hand.
200,000 dead's a call, and it's got through there. Dave couldn't find a hand to make the call.
Say still, although Dave Stones did double earlier, he's still playing approximately 12, 13 big blinds, so yeah, pretty much still in the danger zone.
It's a hard spot. He hasn't got much playing stack, so he needs to look for the big doubles and then kind of build from there. But when you've got active players to his right, he's struggling to get in the pots first. He hasn't got the 3-bet jamming stack ready to do it because he's going to get called by a fair bit when they've opened.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Stu. 2 huge chip stacks to his right. So, mind you, Dave Stones is going for it again now under the gun.
Fold trying to Allen now big blind, and he just shakes his head, and Dave's going to take another one down. So there's like 40,000 in every pot, like pre-flop. So
yeah, I mean I'm no mathematician, Stewie, but that's 80k he's picked up there.
Yeah, 80k in 2 hands is dragging him out the thing. This is the high quality thing. Paul just turned around and like, yeah, he confirmed Tristan's.
Right.
Yeah, 2 times 40 is 80, and Tristan's proud of himself.
Yeah, Paul just double checked on me there. 80k picked up. Stewie agrees. DH agrees. We're all good.
Yeah, happy with that. So we've got a raise to 50k by Craig under the gun. Paul folds on Dave on the button. Dave folds. So does Alan. And so does Dave Stones, and Craig will rake under the pot. So when you are this deep, it is difficult to get the big pots kind of building because There's going to be a lot of raising and taking at this stage, isn't there? The blinds go up in another 18 minutes. What looks like, is that 15:30? Tristan's just going to have a check for us. So we're going to raise under the gun from Paul to 50,000. Falls from Dave and Allen. Dave Stones is folding. Thought for a second he was going to shove there. Maybe he was trying to give Paul palpitations. Folding on to Craig in the big blind. So already got 20,000 in.
I think he wants to play this pot, Stewie.
It's looking that way, isn't it? Yep, he flicks the call in. Good reading from Tristan there. Flop is the deuce of spades, ace of hearts, eight of spades. Craig checks to Paul. Bets 54,000. And a fold from Craig, and Paul's going to rake in another nice little pop. A little bit cagey at the minute, I think. There's a lot of raising and taking going on, isn't there? And people not wanting to make the big mistakes.
Right, okay, guys, still with 20k BV for another 16 minutes. Dave's going to fold under the gun in this particular hand. Alan's going to come in for an open to 50,000. Dave Stones folds. Craig folds. And so does Paul, showing the mighty 7 deuce off.
What a nit. He says it's the perfect hand to show him.
Right, another hand, Stewie.
Yep, been a raise to 50 again by our chip leader Alan, folded by Dave and Craig. Right to Paul, who gets out of the way as well. Dave holding the big blind. He's going to fold, doesn't want to be playing into the big stack out position, I think.
Right, okay, guys, folding round to Paul on the button. It's going to come in for 55,000. That's good enough to win the pot.
It feels to me that Paul's starting to get a little bit more active now with five-handed Tris.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wiltshire there. I didn't see you there.
Yeah, quick substitution for Stu.
Yeah, I didn't see the previous player, if I'm honest with you, but Paul seemed to play a few hands here, increased his stack somewhat. This hand, ladies and gents, Craig's going to come in for an open to 50,000. It's a fold from Paul. We have decision on Dave Howard on the button. who's going to re-raise this by the looks of things. To 70. Yeah, correction on that, guys. 122,000 from the button. Right, okay, we have a re-raise from Alan by the looks of things here, Lee. He's going to forward this to 310,000. Original raiser Craig gets out of the way, so it's back on Dave on the button. He's reaching for chips here, Lee.
Two big stacks at the tables for us.
Yeah, this could be a big pot here, Lee. I think he's reaching, mate.
Let's get this counted out. This is a big. Where are we? Is this a 4-bet?
This will be actually a 5-bet here, Lee.
5-bet now, is it? Right. To 550,000. I mean, that bet alone is 10% of the chips in play.
Yeah, right. So it's back on Alan now, then, Lee. Let's see what he does.
He says I'm all in. I can't see how Dave can't call this now. But he folds. He folds. Alan shows 6-7 offsuit, and Dave Howard folds.
Okay, so just hats off.
That is absolutely incredible. What a hand pre there. And he showed him showed him the bluff with 6-7, massive stack. If Dave could have found a call there, that would have been a huge stack pot in the middle. But Dave folds, and Alan adds to his.
Well, Lee, sometimes you just got to take your hat off and say fair play. Great bet there.
They're both playing poker. That's what we like.
Right, we'll quickly move on to the next one here, Lee, where it's folded round to Dave Stones.
He's all in. Craig shows 10-4, so wasn't interested. Players are all tucking into complimentary ice creams at the moment. Our dealer didn't get offered one. That's a bit off. Oh, I was. Me too. Me too. So that's puts Dave Howard's stack down to about 780,000. Paul Haycock's playing about 650. Dave Stones at the top end is playing about 230,000 maybe. And Craig has quietly been adding to his stack. And Craig might have about 900k now. So Dave, Howard and Paul have seen a flop of 9-8-5. They've checked that flop and the 7 of spades has come out. They both checked that and it's a 5 of clubs on the river. Action on Paul first. He's reaching for some chips and he makes it 75,000. Feels like a little bit of a stab to me.
It's a very interesting board texture there, Lee. We have 4 to the straight and a pair on board.
So decision on Dave. Howard, Dave. Paul shows 10 jack for the turn straight, and that's good enough. Meanwhile, you're all watching Dave Stone struggle with an ice cream.
So, Tristan's about to be called for his next game in the heads up, is it? Yeah. So good luck to Tristan. I go away and I actually miss a pot, and you know.
There we go, Dave. There we go. So on we're going to go. It's Craig's button this time, and small blind is Paul Haycock, big blind is Dave Howard, which means it'll be our chip leader Alan to act first.
Paul's been chipping up quite nicely recently.
I was just saying to Tris, is it a case that he's actually, are they just starting to get some cards, or just decided to start playing now with 5-handed?
I know he
possibly a bit of both, maybe.
Yeah, he said that he was like a little bit card dead, but yeah, he's good enough to open it up as well.
Raise from our chip leader under the gun, gets through, and on we go. So for those of you that might just be joining us now, I'm just looking to find out where the prize. Here we go. There we go. So these guys now, 5-handed, are all guaranteed £1,315. Fourth place will be 1,910. Then up into the medal positions. Bronze medal is 2,965. Silver is 4,775. And up top is the gold medal, the WCOAP bracelet, a Destination Vegas package, 7 nights out in Vegas with us in June, plus £7,080.
Worth winning.
Yeah, it'd be all right, wouldn't it?
David saw we are being watched by Joe Smith on his TV tonight, so hello to him again.
Yeah, don't forget, if you guys are watching this, whether you're watching the embedded on the Facebook group, it all goes up through YouTube. So if you have got one of those fancy new smart TVs with a YouTube app on it, you can watch it on there.
Yep, that's what Mr. Smith's doing, with a few alcoholic beverages a day adventure. So
Paul's limped from the button, and Dave's made up the small blind. Alan checks, so the 3 players are going to see a flop, Stu.
Yeah, Queen of Spades, sorry, 9 of Clubs, 3 of Hearts.
It's a check from Dave.
Better 20,000 from Alan. Paul raises 75 and Dave quickly gets away, and so does Alan. It's a nice spot that for Paul, really. You can just raise there a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's limped the button, but
yeah. The Queen hits his range a lot more than...
Absolutely. Now he's even playing, possibly limping in with hands there like 10 jack even. Yeah.
And again, it's a good spot to raise because it's difficult to see the blinds having anything that can really fight back in a pair. And then once Paul raises him, it's so hard for him to be ahead.
On we go. Raise under the gun from Craig this time. Paul folds, Dave folds, and Alan in the small blind phone, so it's Dave Stones' big blind. I kind of guess the feeling it was a raise to 50,000. It's either an all-in. I was going to say it's an all-in or not. And very quickly, Craig says, "I make the call." So Craig has got pocket jacks. It's Ace King for Dave Stones. It's the Ace King that's going to be at risk here. So let's see the flop. Wow, and it's Ace King. You can't hit it much better than that for Dave, can you really?
10 of Hearts on the river.
Dave Stones is going to get his double up. Wow.
Seen worse flops really.
He's at the races.
I've seen worse flops when you're all in.
Yeah. So even though he's flopped Ace King, actually there are 2 outs for the jacks. They're very much running outs, but there are 2 outs there. But he avoids the jacks. He also avoids the runner royal flush as well.
The royal flush draw, yeah.
As Alan's,
He was drawing.
As Alan, our chip
thin.
leader's just pointed out as well. Yeah, so he had that as well. But the minute the four of hearts hit, Dave gets his double up. $336 was the count.
I think she said 236.
236, double up then.
Yeah.
So 236 double up.
He has been kind of like around with that stack for most of the.
Yeah, he was like that yesterday, to be honest as well, Stu. Very much
surviving,
nursing a short stack, but when he needs to hit, he hits.
Just about, yeah. Just tickles the flop a little bit. Then it's in a raise to 50,000 and a call. Flop comes the 8 of spades, 7 of spades, 9 of spades. Check from Dave to Craig.
$75,000 is a bet from Craig. I think Dave's going to utilise his
newfound
wealth and makes a call. We're going to see a turn. Jack of diamonds. Check again from Dave.
All in a call.
All in a call.
Nut flush.
So it's King 10 for Craig. It's the nut flush for Dave.
Wow,
and Dave is going to get another double up through Craig. Wow. 2 hands.
In a row. Oh, wow.
And we're just getting this counted up. See where we're at.
Did we get table ice cream?
Absolutely flops 2 monsters, 2 hands in a row. And
Hear a
gets
rumour
2
from
double
the
ups.
rail that Dave's got a habit of running like God.
To be fair to Dave, he's shaking his head and Craig's taking it very well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Good to see.
The turn card was the killer because that pretty much gave Craig the straight. Anything other than that, and he's not getting involved with all of his chips. But blind on blind as well.
Yeah, it's just vile, isn't it, really?
But for Dave Stone's fans at home that might be watching this, your man is on a bit of a heater. Meanwhile, Paul takes down that hand.
That's pretty much crippled Craig as well, isn't it? By the looks of it, he's not got much left down the far end of the table. A couple 100,000, you think?
Yeah, he's playing about 230k now.
There we go.
With blinds at 10,000, 20,000, so he's got just over 10 bigs.
We've been seeing that moving
but
around.
But after this hand, our levels are going up.
Yeah, so now we're going up to 15,000, 30,000. We're 3,000 running ante. Craig announces all in.
And Craig's all in. It's got Paul in the small blind and Dave Howard in the big blind. Craig says 2 in a little bit. Paul folds. Dave says I call. Dave's got King Queen offsuit, and it's 9-10 of clubs for Craig. It's 2 clubs on the board. 6 on the turn now. He's going to need a club of 10 or 9. He doesn't get there, and we're going to lose Craig in 5th place.
Get the 7 as well for the straight. We've lost Craig in 5th place. He's going to collect £1,315. We are now on the medal bubble. The next person out will receive £1,910. Got a feel for Craig there. He's been decimated twice, maybe 2 hands in a row with no fault of his own. Action has folded around to Dave Howard, who gives Alan a walk. Alan has out a little cheer. So the blinds at 15:30. We've got Alan in the small blind, Dave in the big blind. First to act is Paul, and he gets out of the way. It's Dave Howard on the button now. Dave raises it up to 60,000. Alan gets out of the way, as does Dave. And due by Dave will take down the pot. I'm going to put another 1,000 in for his ante. So we've got Dave Stones in the small blind, Paul Haycock in the big. It's Dave Howard first to act, and he raises it up to 60,000. Alan next to act on the button. He's having a good think, riffling some 50,000 chips you can see in his right hand there. He's on the bottom right screen, and he re-raises it to 150,000. Fall from Dave. Action's now on Paul in the big blind. Paul announces all in. Action's back in the original Razor Dave. Dave Howard announces all in. And Alan Folds have got the ace king of diamonds for
they both have ace
Paul.
king. Paul has the diamonds, and it's a club and a spade.
There's two diamonds,
on the board.
5 of spades on the turn. And 7 of clubs on the river. Paul's quite relieved he did not like this.
Fair play to Paul. He's actually called, don't do it. Don't put the diamond out there. So they both chop it up.
Who on earth would beat somebody with ace king against ace kingly?
That's quite nice to hear, though, to be fair.
Yeah. I say who would actually, beat someone with ace king as ace king on these events? It'd be horrible. The race from Alan there.
Basically, the two of them just wasted the dealer's time there,
Yep,
really, for the last hand, didn't they?
absolutely.
Yeah.
You could have asked him for just to donate them and just moved on.
So on we go. So it's Alan under the gun here. Looks like he's going to raise, Stu.
Yep. Raise it up to 65,000.
Lines are at 15,000, 30,000 now.
The fold from Dave Stones and from Paul Haycock. Right to Dave Howard. He'll make the fold as well. So Alan rakes in that pot. And we move on again.
Dave Stones raises it up to 60,000. And it's Paul Haycock on the button here. And Paul makes the call from the button. Dave Howard folds to the small blind. Alan's big blind. And he says it's 60. And he makes the call. So we're going to be 3 players to a flop. Queen of Hearts, 3 of Clubs, Jack of Hearts. Decision on Alan.
There's been a bet at the end of the table, I think.
He's checked, and Dave Stones has made it 50,000. Paul's reaching for raising chips and raises it up to 185.
Alan's out the way quickly.
Alan folds very quickly. Dave folds, and Paul is going to scoop that pot.
So we have Dave Stones in the big blind with Alan in the small blind. First to act is Paul. Stop stacking his chips up from last hand in turn just a fold. We want a Dave on the button, he's going to get out of it as well, and Alan folds, and we have a walk for Mr. Stones. Dave will fold under the gun, Alan folds a button. It's on the small blind now is Dave Stones. Paul on the big. Raises up to 75k. Paul folds and shows 5-3 off suit. Johnny can pass the monsters as well.
Paul's playing about 1.1 million now. Dave Howard has 850. And Dave Stones has about 850 as well, actually, maybe 900. And Alan Jones has the remaining, which is going to be approximately 2.2 million.
He's been about that for the last couple of hours, hasn't he?
So it's roughly Alan. So it's roughly Alan on 2.2 million.
So Dave
Paul
raises
on
it up to
1.1. Dave on
what looks
850.
like
I think both Daves got about
85,000.
850 each.
And gets it through everybody and
Another
takes
rough
down another
count,
nice
that
pot.
should get somewhere near to the 5.2 million in play. The money jumps start going out quite significantly here now. These guys are all guaranteed £1,910. Then we're £1,000 jump up to third place. Then another 1,800 jump up to second place. Before the final jump of 2,300 up to first. Top place is £7,000. And one of these four is going to get that, along with the gold medal, WCOAP bracelet, and the trip to Vegas.
So as far as Dave in the small blind, he's raised it up to 80,000. Then Alan in the big blind. And he makes the call.
So blind on blind here then, Stu.
Yeah, about 200k pot already. Flop is there, the king of diamonds, 5 of hearts, 4 of diamonds. It's Dave Howard first to act. Makes it 89,000. 89,000 now for Alan to go. A call from Alan. Gets his change off the dealer. The 10 of spades comes on the turn, and again it's Dave to act. Dave bets out for 132,000. And then having a good look at Dave's stack here.
See both players next to each other on the on top stream. Dave at the far side and Alan on the right hand side.
And a call again.
Huge
Getting
pot.
big.
Huge pot now. So we're going to see a river card then, Stu.
Yep. River card is the Jack of Spades. Puts 3 to the straight out. Check, check. Dave declares a 10. Alan shows King 2. Take the pot. The top pair.
I mean, do you think if David fired out on the river, Alan's calling that down?
He's not going away after he's called the first two. He's not folding a bit.
So I think Dave probably knew that, hence slowing up, and even then, Alan's not likely to bet that out because he's only getting called by better hands.
He's got showdown value as it is.
So pretty much, yeah. That was fairly inevitable. That was just going to go check on the river. On we go.
So Acton's going to make a raise up to 65,000. Dave gets out of the way, so does Alan. Right, Dave Stone's in the big blind.
Just Dave in the big blind, yeah, and he folds as well. Paul gets that one through.
It's all got a little bit tense now, hasn't it?
Absolutely, we really are getting to that point in the tournament. So basically, before we start here, there's now 57,000 chips in the middle.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
So even stealing that is it's nice.
Yeah.
But we're still playing with an average stack at just over 1.2 million. So we're still playing 40 bigs deep with an average stack. Tournament started today, the final table started, there were 50 bigs deep, so still massive to play.
Oh yeah, huge amounts.
We're playing 60-minute levels as we were for the whole of day 2.
Paul gets a walk.
So bets under the gun last hand, scoops, takes a walk this hand, adds to his stack, very nice.
Another about 114,000 chips straight in.
For doing not a lot.
That 1.7, Paul.
Paul's playing about 1.2 million now.
Just considering he was all in for not much more than 300k earlier is impressive. Action's on Alan, first to act, and he's going to put in 65,000. Dave Stone's forward, as does Paul Haycock, sorry. Dave Howard gets out of the way as well. Alan adds to his stack again. Had a fairly consistent rail today so far. A lot of people interested in what's going on as they bust out or waiting to play their tournaments. Play about 900k. And Alan gets a walk in the big blind. Got Alan in the small blind. Dave in the big blind. It's Paul first to act. Blind's at 15.30 and Paul makes it 75,000. Dave Howard folds the button. Alan in the small blind. Asking just how much Paul's got. He thought 900,000, got told about 1.2. Got a call from Alan. It's Dave Stone's in the big blind, he'll get out of the way and we'll go 2 to the flop. Alan first to act on the flop of 8 of spades, 5 of spades, 9 of diamonds. Check from Alan. Check from Paul. Turn comes the 3 of spades, puts 3 spades out. Draw heavy board at the minute. Alan first to act again. Bet out for 60,000. Paul makes a call. Fairly quickly, the river comes a 5 of hearts, which pairs the board as well as having all the other draws on there. It's again going to be Alan first to act. And bets out for 95,000. Actions on Paul. Paul puts the call out. Jack Queen shown for Alan, and Paul's going to take it down with ace high. Wow, great call. Great call on the river. Wow. The man is a machine at the minute. We've got an all in from Dave Howard. Alan's asking for a count on the button. Dave says about 475.
Dave Howard all in here under the gun, so he's got the 3 players to get through. Alan's asked for a count.
Didn't
What
quite
was that
catch what it
count?
was.
How much was it?
I didn't quite catch it.
Okay.
From Alan.
473.
There we go.
Dave's going to get that through.
Alan saying he was this close to making the call. No reaction from Dave. Is very much in the zone of it, I think.
He's playing now about 1.4 million. And it's Alan under the gun first hand here. And he's reaching for some chips, Stu.
Yep. Not being deterred by his.
That makes it 65,000.
Yeah, that's going to get through. Scoop down the blinds ante. So we've got Paul on the button, Dave folds under the gun. Paul folds his button, is around to Dave Howard in the small blind. Dave declares all in again. Alan. That's just about 600,000. He's asking for a count.
Alan's asking for a count again. Another decision for him. We're going to
He's called. He's called.
He says I'm calling. He says I'm calling.
Pocket kings.
David's got
Dave
pocket kings.
Blind,
And it's pocket threes for Alan. It's the kings at risk. Cheers, thank you. So it's the kings that are at risk here. Kings for Dave. It's the threes for Alan. Here comes the flop. And it's 6, 4, 5. That gives up and down straight draw as well. Queen doesn't get there. Neither does the jack. And the kings hold. And Dave is going to get a full double up.
Well, like there was a lot of eye rolling going on when that flop came down. Particularly from Dave.
494 is the count for Dave.
Going to put him up towards the million mark.
It's going to put Dave up to a million and a severe dent into our chip leaders stack. May well actually put, I would suggest that's probably going to put Alan and Paul very similar on stacks now.
Yeah. There are a lot of the smaller stacks double, hasn't there, today? There's not been many.
Yeah, there's not a lot between them all now. Dave Stone's playing about 900,000. That's going to put Dave Howard up about the million mark. Paul's playing about 1.5, and the rest belongs to still our chip leader at about 1.7, 1.8 million. Is Alan.
So Paul's raised this under the gun, 75,000. Dave's quickly got out of the way.
Actually, Alan's probably still got, about 1.9 million, I think, there.
He makes a re-raise to 250,000. Action falls back around to Paul. And Paul makes a fold. $60 on Dave Howard. First to act on Paul. There's Paul's big blind. Dave folds a small blind, so he's around to Paul. And he folds as well. Dave Howard takes down the pot. Blind. Dave Howard's big blind. Alan lets it go under the gun. Sorry, Dave Stone's on the button folds. He's right at Alan. Oh, sorry, right at Paul. Sorry, in the small blind. Makes the call. Dave will check. So I've got the flop two-handed. Flop comes the king of hearts, five of spades, eight of hearts. Paul checks. Dave bets 35,000. Dave makes the call. Turn is the six of spades. Paul checks immediately. Dave checks behind. River's the jack of clubs. Paul checks. They bet 77,000 and Paul immediately calls. King 4 plays King 2 and we are going to chop it up. But I haven't said it today yet, have I?
No, not today, you haven't.
No, but I've said it every other day.
You have.
Sorry. Everyone loves a chop pot.
No, they don't.
Baron Paul, but just by the look he just gave me there, they would love to kill me. I've said it every day so far, so I've got to keep the streak alive.
To be fair, every time he says it, I always say no, they don't. So.
I agree wholeheartedly. So next hand it's going to be Dave Howard in the small blind, Alan in the big blind. Dave Stone's first to act under the gun, and he raises it to 75,000. Paul folds. Dave Howard in the small blind now. So he's reaching for some raising chips here. Yep. $194,000 is the re-raise. All in. All in a call. Ace Queen plays Pocket Kings again for Dave.
So it's Ace Queen for Dave Stones against Pocket Kings for Dave Howard. It's the Ace Queen at risk here. So here comes the flop. And it's Queen 10-4. And a jack
on the river.
Turn gives options for the Ace Queen. And it
Dave hits
fades
a
it,
straight.
and the Kings are going to be good with a straight on the river for Dave. We're going to get a count up on that. Dave v Dave.
Dave on Dave action.
Well, that is very much going to cripple Dave Stone's stack. We're just going to get a count on it now. Let's get in there and find out how much it is. That's going to be Dave Stones in.
There's the ball pop.
Right, the plan is, guys, we are going to take a break when we're three-handed. We're going to send these guys on a dinner break as we're down to the medalists. We will kill this stream and put a live stream up for the final three players. So it'll be about 6:30 for our players to come back. Hope you've enjoyed the stream so far. Keep an eye. We'll put a new link up shortly for our final three and our medalists as we play down to a winner. So we'll go for back at 6:30, so about 35 minutes. Okay, we'll do a little bit of moving around of chips again. Okay, by the time we get back, all right? Good stuff.